Can you see me?
Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead, Tiasha.
So, good afternoon, sir. This is Tiasha, and I'm the community manager at Startup Lens. So, we are an ecosystem for startups, investors, and enablers present in 56 cities across 15 countries. Shishir Gupta and Neha Gupta are the co-founders of Startup Lens, and Sri S.K. Mathu is the chief advisor. He is having 75 years old with 50 plus years of experience. He was the president of Reliance Industries and the CEO of Expo Mart in the past. We are enabled by our religion director, chapter directors, associate directors, funding consultants, investment directors, mentor and associates in across all the groups. Please feel free to join us for any such roles. Thank you, sir. I would like to say that can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Tejas Sumasham. I am an edupreneur. Uh, I have my own coaching business along with consulting that I do. So I run lots of different kinds of programs under the umbrella of my business, which is called The Education Journey. Uh, right from K-12, going all the way up to corporate consultancy, teacher training programs, also doing MBA trainings, entrepreneurship trainings. I do the entire spectrum.
Okay. So, sir, I want to ask you some basic questions. Can I
Sure.
start?
Sure, please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, please tell me what is the aim of your startup?
The aim of this startup is basically to spread the light of knowledge in different ways, to try and make education a very fun process, to try and make it an engaging process, whereby the end user looks at the practical benefits of what's happening rather than just is a part of something which is theoretical. So the whole objective here is to try and get a user interactive, to try and get a user into the entire thought process and the mindset rather than just being a passive listener.
Okay. So, what inspired you to start the business?
See, I've always been a teacher, right? So some of my friends will tell you this. Since my school days, I was teaching, and that's where the passion for teaching actually came in. As I grew up, that passion has sort of become a more innate fire that was burning. And I realized at some point in my corporate career that this is something I want to do. Because as a teacher, as an entrepreneur and a teacher, I can create that change which I can see every day in front of me. So initially in my career, while I was working with other organizations, I honed my skills there, learned the ropes, and then decided, it was time to do things my way because I figured out that there is a certain USP that I bring in to the kind of operations that I do. There's a certain flavor that I can bring in that no one else can. And I said, it's a good time to go ahead and do something on my own, and that's how the startup was born.
Okay, that's nice. So, what is your USP?
The USP of the startup basically is the personalization in every aspect, right? So when a student comes to us, the education process has to be student centric. That's our focus. It's our core focus. And whether it is a student who is a K-12 student, whether it is an MBA student, whether it is anyone who's studying with me for the various certificate courses in entrepreneurship that I run, whether it be corporates, we keep the customer or the end user as our focus and we design things around them, right? So we become better enablers. We help businesses, we help individuals reach their potential. And that's the whole USP that we have created. So we are not people who are just out there to serve. We are there to actually create an impact by tailor making our solutions around the requirements.
Okay. So, please tell me what are the challenges you faced and how did you overcome from them?
Uh, Honestly speaking, this is my second startup, right? So I had started something before this, which is called Thinkers to Rankers. That was my first startup. And that taught me a lot. That was more of an online training startup. And what that told me was that not all ideas which are great may actually be market ready. So it took me a few years to understand and iterate, also understand the kind of mentality that the end users have, also understand what kind of services they require from us. And that's where I decided, when I do something, I've got to focus on the requirements of the end user rather than trying to come up with solutions which may or may not work. So that was one huge learning that I took away. Obviously, in terms of challenges, you see the learning space or the training space or the consulting space is fraught with a lot of competition, but there is also huge opportunity to collaborate. There is huge opportunity to learn along with others and grow, right? So I particularly do not take these as challenges. Every challenge to me is an opportunity. I leverage these challenges, convert them into opportunities, and use them to push ahead, right? So the one attitude that I've learned as part of the business is the key skill in business is to be able to pivot, to be able to understand what needs to be done where. You cannot be rigid and fixated about what it is that or how is it that your business has to run. There are going to be times when there are going to be needs for you to shape your business in certain directions given certain conditions, and you should be okay with doing that. You should be of that mind frame to say, okay, look, it's not working, or maybe this is working better, let's do it. You should never be fixated. And of course, another thing that I've learned along the journey, which was also a challenge, was how to deal with people. Because you see, in the space that I am in, it is all about people, right? So I deal with people all the time. People have expectations. One of the key challenges as an educator, as a coach, as an entrepreneur is trying to live up to those expectations. What I learned from it, what I realized very quickly was people are going to have expectations from you all the time. What is critical is how much of their expectations are you able to manage? It all comes down to how much is it that you can do versus what they expect you to do. And that's where you've got to be very transparent in your business. Set the expectations straight right at the beginning. There'll be people who will expect you to have that magic wand and say, transform my business or change the way I look at things, or maybe, change my child's future. But you've got to be fair and say, hey, look, if this is possible, I'll do it. If this is not possible, I can't do it. And you've got to tell them that, look, this is what it is, and this is how it can be done. You cannot afford to beat around the bush. And most importantly, you've got to be ethical. Never make promises that you can't keep. Because at the end of the day, remember, creating a business is also a lot about the goodwill that you create. And creating goodwill only comes from a deep sense of ethics. I've been fortunate to be working with people who are very ethical. And that's where, I've never compromised on my ethics in my work, even for a day. If I need to do something, if I need to put in the effort, I will. I will never lie for the sake of getting businesses in. And, I'm always as straightforward with people as I can be.
Okay, nice. So what makes you feel the best in the industry or the sector?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question very well.
Actually, which thing make you best in the industry or in the sector?
So I'll tell you what. Honestly, Tiasha, I don't believe I'm there yet. Okay, I think every business has a lot of potential. I have a lot of potential as well in terms of growing my business. I may not still be the best in my business. That would be an exaggeration. And like I said, I keep my expectations very real. I may not be the best, but I can tell you what makes me unique. What makes me unique is my dedication and focus towards the causes that I take up, right? For me, being an entrepreneur, being an educator, therefore being an edupreneur, is a way of life. It's not a way for me to only run a business. And when something becomes your way of life, it becomes automatically your core focus, and you start channelizing your energies towards doing whatever you can to grow the business. And that's where, I am ahead of the curve. I always keep myself updated. I always ensure that the practices that I incorporate in the business that I do are some of the cutting edge practices. I'm never afraid to learn. I spend loads of time learning, implementing new tweaks here and there, trying out new things, seeing what works, taking feedback, iterating, and making sure at the end of the day that the end user of whatever services that I provide goes back with a smile on their face.
So please tell me, who are the co-founders of your startup?
So there is me and my mother, the two of us, Ms. Suma Sham. She and I are the co-founders of the startup, but I handle all the operations which are related to academics and the trainings, etc. And she handles most of the admin related responsibilities.
It's nice. So tell me, how can you see your startup in next 5 years?
Well, 5 years is a very short timeline in some sense and a very long timeline in some other senses. Like I tell people, you see, I'm not in this business because of the money involved. So for me, the startup in 5 years is not about the kind of revenues that I churn. I'm earning enough and more revenues as of today, and I'm hoping to grow, right? The key here is I want to grow, but the growth has to be an inclusive growth. So what I look forward to doing is I look forward to taking people along with me in the next 5 years, coming up with a business that can not only be self-reliant and self-sustaining as it is even today, but also grow in terms of the sheer impact that I create, reaching out to people, making sure that, I transform a lot more lives, create a lot more value for all the stakeholders involved. And yes, that is growth for me in the next 5 years. In terms of a revenue milestone, I don't really give myself revenue milestones simply because I believe that if I focus on the kind of work and the ethic and the quality that I'm providing, the kind of services that I provide and the team provides, I think revenues will fall into place. But yes, it is extremely important to be very, very focused. And that's what I see myself doing for the next 5 years. And in 5 years, reaching a stage where, I am part of a startup, I am part of a venture that is well applauded and well received.
Okay. It was a nice session, sir. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.